Thank you.
Welcome to Blackout Pod. I'm your host, Pete Souvall, recording live-ish again from Fourth Wall in North Hollywood, and we are here with our guest, Mary Romeo.
Whoa. Hey, guys. Okay. That's violent. Is that my intro?
Yeah. Wait, hang on.
That sounds like the beginning of a Beyonce song. I'm okay with it.
There it is.
Okay.
Bam.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. It's so gross outside, though.
I'm really just over it.
Yeah.
Like, I did not move 3,000 miles away for this bullshit.
So where are you from originally?
I'm from Pennsylvania. Well, I was born in New York, but I only spent 5 years of my life there. And then I grew up all in, southern Pennsylvania, kind of close to Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore.
You gotta do
That
gunshots
was
with Baltimore.
appropriate.
I've been to Baltimore once, and I went from Baltimore to New Jersey, and we ate lunch in Baltimore in a Hard Rock cafe, and it was still wow, this place is.
It's awful.
Yeah.
Well, you can't visit a city and then go to a chain restaurant.
We didn't have much time there. I wanted
Okay.
to see it.
Yeah. They
but
have good crabs. They do.
I'm allergic to crab.
Oh,
Yeah.
that sucks.
Yeah.
All
Well, but I don't trust animals. I don't trust a food that can multitask. You know what I mean? It can do more than one thing. It could be
that's
squeezing
true.
something.
Yeah, but
and,
when they're dead, they can't do anything.
That's
so
true. I never was into. I'm okay with shrimp, and I can eat that, but I'm allergic to lobster and crab.
Oh.
It just kind of has that balloon texture, like crunchy balloons.
Crunchy balloons?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
When they deflate and then they get all like
You know those
Yeah.
stress balls with sand in them?
Oh, okay.
Kind of like
that
that.
actually, that's a good description.
Yeah, and then they pop. It has that popping, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, you're not eating the shell part.
That's true. Yeah. No, it's just so weird. And
I
gummy.
kind of know what you're saying, especially
Yeah.
because there's that green goop in it that you
Yeah.
have to scoop out. It's crabs are like wings. You got to work for it.
Yeah.
You really can cut yourself in the process. It's a tough thing to eat.
I went to a wedding in New Orleans once, and they had a full shrimp boil, and they had just the whole fucking shrimp, which I don't know if you've ever seen a whole shrimp. The entirety of it is as big as my fist. So, and then the legs spider out. So you had to sit there and peel them.
Oh my god! Wait, so it was just a giant shrimp?
Well, it was a normal sized shrimp inside of its shell, but just so much peeling had to be done.
Yeah.
So each thing was this big, and then
That freaks me out because you gotta break its little legs off and stuff.
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
That's kinda mean.
really strange. Yeah, it was very strange.
Yeah, it is weird when the animal comes in the shape that it started as.
Yeah.
That's kind of just feels wrong.
But it was also so labor intensive. I'm fine if there was just so much labor involved. And by the time I peeled it, I was I don't want.
You said
this
that was at a
anymore.
wedding?
Yeah.
That. No one wants to eat fucking crabs in their $300 dress. That's
That's what I was thinking. I
it
want
was
to get
very
juices on my ties and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had really good traditional Cajun food, but it was that fucking shrimp boil was too much.
Are you sure it wasn't crawdads?
No, it was positive. It was
Okay.
shrimp because they had those
Crawdads are pretty
fucking crazy long legs.
Oh yeah.
wow.
So did you start comedy here or there?
So I started comedy in Pennsylvania, and I've been doing it for a year and a half now.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, so I started in Harrisburg, but I would go down to Baltimore too. I did a show in Philly before. Actually, the East Coast is really nice because you can hit a bunch of cities. I've done a show in DC too. So yeah, that's the nice part.
Oh, that's rad. Have you been to New York for any mics or anything like that?
I haven't really been to New York. I went once, like on vacation, just to see shows at the Cellar, but I never went up.
It's so weird because the Philly accent, like I didn't notice it until somebody pointed it out, and now every time somebody gets on stage from Philly, I'm like, oh, I hear it.
I know they always say water.
Yeah, and they're just like around.
Yeah.
You know what, like Bam Margera. They sound like you know what you, and it's like.
It's where are you from?
Salt Lake.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I had imagined that in your neck of the woods, you have the same problem of like, are there like skiers and stuff in your?
Kind of, but that's more like north,
Okay.
Pennsylvania. I'm kind of southern part.
How many times a day do you get asked about The Office?
Not as much as you'd think, but whenever I say I'm from Pennsylvania, people are just like, "Oh, she's from Philly. Give it up." And I'm like, they're two separate. I'm like an hour and a half from Philly. I'm closer to Baltimore than I am Philly.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But yeah, they just think it's like one place.
Do you ever see anything scary in Baltimore?
Oh yeah. Actually, Harrisburg and York are on the rise of becoming dangerous cities. That's where I went to high school. Just, shootings every day. It's really it's a fun time. I worked in the news, so I just knew a lot of what was happening. Yeah, it was dangerous. Just a lot of violence.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, it's a good city to grow up in, really. It's changing though. It's
It's interesting to come from because Baltimore, I think, is like still one of the most dangerous cities in the U.S. And then like to come here and like it's a dangerous city in L.A. But then it's like, this is very tepid. This is nice.
No, it feels safe. Especially, I live in Sherman Oaks, and I
Oh yeah.
I barely see any homeless people.
Is that like the suburbs, the Sherman Oaks like suburbs area?
Yeah. But we also live like really close to Ventura Boulevard, which is nice. So we can like go like walk around. It's like we live in a neighborhood, but we're still close to like the main street.
I went to the Whole Foods there the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't been there yet, but
Not a
everybody
fan.
talks about it.
They didn't have a hot bar.
Oh.
I wanted a hot
How
bar.
dare
they? I was hungry.
I can't get down with Whole Foods. That shit is too much.
It's just
It's just so like vegan. I'm not on the Cali diet yet. I'm still adjusting.
I'm just a maniac. Like ever since I got sober, I immediately started focusing on health, and so like now I'm like, what's in this? So it's just
Well, that's good. Good for you.
It went
That's
the
awesome.
other way. Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. So who did you bring up Travis at that page whatever lounge place?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was
So
just thinking that we all were on that show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
that's
I
great.
want to hear your perspective as the host. I want to know. I've talked about it for like 3 podcasts.
Dude, it was absolutely horrendous.
It's-
Did I show? I should have brought. Okay, so I walk in and like I was told to make the list, and that's why like you signed up on my list, and then the host or the producers like came in late, and they're like, no, we're gonna make the list. And they wrote the list, like 5 names at a time, on the back of his business card, and then just kept handing me like more names in no specific order. And I was like, I don't know what to do with this. And then,
Yeah, I thought it was weird that me and Katie went up first because like we got there even like late for the last one. Like I had no idea how you guys were doing the
I know,
order.
and I
was
felt
like,
bad
oh,
because I
shit.
like to tell people in advance that they're going up, and then
I know you saw me like speed throw my coat off.
scramble.
Like,
I felt so bad.
I felt like we all got there and then just kind of exchanged looks with each other, like we were from the same town and at like some pyramid scheme
We were
presentation.
being
like-
punked for sure.
Yeah.
The one comedian got off the stage. Well, he was shitting on the show the entire
fuck
time.
That guy was the worst.
He was being really mean about it, and then he got off and said to the booker, he was like, "Never put me on the show again. I swear to God." And
Shit,
just
what was
walked
that
out.
guy's name?
I don't know. Should we say?
He's just one of those. He seemed like, and he was insulting everybody in the audience, and it's like he was like, "Do you guys understand?" It's like, "Yeah, we understand. You're just not funny." This is just, yeah.
Just make the best of it and
Yeah.
then leave and just keep it to
Yeah.
yourself.
No, it was a
But it
very
was-
weird room.
Yeah. I mean, like nothing was on time either. There was like 50 comedians on the lineup.
Yeah.
Like
And then
and we were forced against our will to post it on social media 15 times.
Part. Did you do it?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, so that's why I was like
I wasn't sharing that I was part of that because I was like, I don't know what this is, and I don't want to promote this booker because I don't know his deal.
He spelled my last name wrong.
Oh yeah, he
on the fucking poster. And was like, you need to post this right now. And I was like, you spelled my name wrong. And he was like, all right, I'll get it done. And then I still posted the wrong one. Wasn't
it Romero?
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought you up as Romeo. I thought that was the funniest part.
Well, Romeo is my last name.
I know that, but he just said Romeo.
Right. Oh, yeah. I was like, so you don't know my first name. Okay, cool.
And it was so weird. And then that one dude went up who was friends with the DJ and was not great. And then he heckled me during my set. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not going to do material.
Yeah,
that's why we dipped. We were like, I'm fucking getting out of here.
I can't believe I had to stay the entire time. It was just such a waste of energy and time. And so the last comic that you were saying, the one that was friends with the producer, when I went to go bring him up, I was like, wait, what's your name again? And he said Doxy, and I misheard him, and I was like, what'd you say, Nazi? And he I don't know why that was what I thought he said. And the DJ looks at me, he goes, did you just say Nazi? And I was like, I don't know, I can't hear him.
Oh my god.
To be fair, Doxy is a real fucking stupid name.
I know.
What is that?
I don't know. They invited me back. Like
they invited me back too. And
when
I'm
I was
like,
leaving, that guy was like, come back anytime. And I was like, what? No.
And then the bartender was gone for like 20 minutes,
and
everyone was freaking out.
Yeah, he was a very surly individual. I asked him for water, and he was just like, okay, sorry.
I love places where the bartender's an asshole. It's like, why do you exist?
Yeah.
Bartenders are usually happy people. What's wrong with you?
I don't know if I'll reach a higher comedy accolade than making that room laugh.
That you did really well. That was awesome.
And I don't know if I'll ever do better than that. I'm having one of those days today where I'm like, I suck at this. And so I'm like, maybe that was my peak.
No,
making
it can't be.
Making Page 71 Lounge. Oh, Jesus
I do have those
Christ.
days all the time, though, where I'm like, oh, you're so bad at this. You're not even funny.
Yeah.
And it lasts for like a week. I'm still riding a high, though, because when I was home for Mother's Day, so this is a kind of a crazy story. So do you know Brandon T. Jackson from Tropic Thunder? That was like his first movie.
Yes,
yeah. Okay, so
he's the booty sweat guy, right?
Yes, that is what everyone says. Okay. So I met him like at my coffee shop, and then I started a mic, and the owners told me that they were friends with him. And so he came to the mic once just to like support it. He didn't even want to go up. He just was like chilling and watching. And then I got an email. So like the night before I was supposed to fly back home, I got an email that said, come see Brandon T. Jackson headline at Magooby's Joke House, which is in Baltimore. And I was like, holy shit, that's when I'm going to be home. So on my flight, I messaged him on Instagram. And I was just like, hey, like, I'm going to be in the area. I'd love to come to your show, maybe do a guest spot. And all he responded was, you want to do some time? So I literally canceled all my plans immediately. And then I was like, yeah, I'd love to. Can I come Saturday at 7:30? He didn't respond to me until like 4:30 that day. And was like, yes. So just dropped everything, got there. Yeah, and he like let me do a guest spot. It was only 5 minutes, but it was in front of like 150 people, which was like the biggest crowd I've ever done.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was so amazing, and now I'm like still trying to ride that high for like a month.
Well, it's so hard because like last night I'll have like a great mic and like not even a show, and then I'll just be like, I'm great at this, and then I have 4 terrible ones, and I'm just like, I should quit. I should just quit. Where you look in the mirror and you're like, you failure.
You fucking suck. How do you sleep at night?
Then I sit down to have a writing day, and I have some of the best like miserable writing that I'm like, this will be a good bit, and people will tell it could come. It's come from pain.
Yeah, it definitely comes in waves, and I feel like you have to like change up your writing style, honestly, to like get into the like. I've just been so off like writing like set up punchline jokes that now I'm just gonna try and write like stories maybe, and maybe that'll like help flow. I don't know.
I've got some stuff that like I should write about, but I don't know how to make it funny.
Yeah.
Like I went to cosmetology school, and that's weird, and it's just like I don't know. What's yeah, I don't know.
Just say that. That's it.
Yeah, and it's just like I told Mitchell that, and he's like, "You need to write about that," and I was like, "What about it? Like, there's nothing." I have. Like, I just fucking
I mean
learned how
that
to
you
do
were
hair.
you were the most different person there, I'm assuming.
That's very true, and girls are so mean. So mean. I thought I'd be immune to it. No, not at all.
Oh my
They were
gosh.
so mean. Yeah, they're just mean
What made you want to
individuals.
do that?
I'm a guy with visible tattoos who had no career plan. Surprise. And so it was like I just wanted to finish something, and so I was like, I'll go do that. And I was also like an alcoholic at the time, so I was like, I'll just do this to go prove to myself. So in the middle, in the middle of the beginning, I guess, is when I had kind of my rock bottom, and then they really vouched for me and were like, go get better, and then you can come back. And so I went to rehab, and I came back, and I just finished school. Then I met my wife there. She was one of my teachers,
Nice.
I re-met her because I knew her when we were younger. But
yeah. Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
yeah, it's
What
very
a love
strange.
story.
Yeah, Salt Lake is also very small, so it was like it wasn't super surprising, but it was really cool.
Yeah.
So I
Wow.
finished, and then I did hair for less than a year, and I was like, this is horrible. And
All that time wasted.
yes, but at least I finished.
No,
yeah.
that journey. Oh my gosh, you
Yeah,
got
very
sober
strange.
and you met your wife. That's
Yeah.
amazing.
This is very strange, though, and it made me not trust middle-aged women because they will talk so much shit.
I love that you were
Yeah.
very careful to say middle-aged women instead of just general
Well, because
women.
the general
Yeah.
women usually are like, I want to finish, and then the middle-aged women are the ones who are like, I don't have anything to do but this, and so I'm going to talk all of the shit.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you still do you still party and stuff?
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah, I was just thinking, like, I've probably spent so many of my early years partying that I'm gonna spend like my last 40 years of my life sober. But I actually I'm coming down. Like, I went to a concert last night. That was fun. I don't know. Like, I was thinking about this. I was like, I don't know how much of my like fun party life I should put on this podcast.
Why?
Because I've done my
We have
fair
a listener
share
in Moscow,
of
Russia,
things.
and
I'm sure.
I think
yeah,
whoever
he's
it is
really curious to
entitled
know.
to knowing how much
It's
heroin
real
you
cold
did
there.
last night.
All right,
Let 'em
see,
know.
that's the thing. No heroin, no meth.
Yeah, good. Okay.
No, I just like microdosed on acid, which it didn't hit me until like after the concert was over.
Will you explain microdosing?
It's just like a tiny little bit.
Okay.
But that doesn't really work with acid because if you take any acid at all, it's like a full-on trip almost.
The only time I ever did acid was I was rolling, and then it turned out to be I can't remember the name of the pill. It was like a white lightning that was also acid. So like it was just like
That's weird.
suddenly everything was like wow.
Yeah.
And it was just
And
a
once
little
you
bit, I was already
smoke
fucked up.
when you're on acid, it just like changes the whole experience.
That's crazy.
It's a lot. But yeah, so I mean most of the stories that I was going to talk about are just about me drinking because I haven't done it in a while, but during college I would do this thing where if I would drink like any amount of alcohol, I would immediately pass out. Not like immediately, but like if I passed out, you could not get me up.
Oh Jesus.
The first time that it ever happened, my friends wanted to call an ambulance. They thought I was dead. I was just slumped. It's it's really scary. So the first time it happened, it was my birthday, and we were over at like my friend's apartment, and I had fallen asleep. And so one of our guy friends like tried to like slump me over his shoulder, and
Fireman
that didn't
Carey.
wake me up at all, which is terrifying. Like I could get kidnapped and I wouldn't know. But as soon as we walked outside, I was like, ugh, it's cold. Like that, the temperature change is what made me wake up.
I bet they were so mad. They were like, she's fucking faking it.
Yeah.
Just hitching a ride home on my back.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I honestly think maybe I'm narcoleptic or something because it doesn't even have to do with that much alcohol. One time my friends were over and we were just like chilling, watching a movie. I had one fucking glass of wine and I fell asleep with my phone in my hand, like still lit up.
So do you drink regularly now?
I actually, since moving here, I haven't really drank as much. I've just like been smoking more because it's legal and it's
sure.
and drinking out here is so expensive. It's just not
Yeah,
even worth
yeah.
it. Like a cocktail is the same amount of money as a meal.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
friends here who are like, I'm broke, and then like I see that they're like always drunk and ordering Postmates, and I'm like, no fucking wonder, stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah, like what the fuck?
I'd
Have you
rather-
ever ordering Postmates for anything? It's like I wanted to order donuts, and it was like, let's say you go to a donut shop, it's like $4 for 9 donuts, and then like you order fucking $9 worth of donuts or $4 worth of donuts. Suddenly it's $20 through Postmates. So it's like, yeah, no fucking wonder you're broke.
Yeah.
But then add alcohol to that.
Oh my God, it's awful.
Crazy. Yeah.
I have not Postmated out here. I like when I'm in a concert or anything, I've been to a lot of concerts and shows and like fun stuff, but I refuse to drink when I'm at them.
Yeah.
It's just not even worth it. So
what did you do last? Is that just the
Yeah, and we just like smoked a little, but that was basically, it was a really fun concert though. It was Ocean Alley, which my roommate's brother is in town and he likes that band, and they're just like a psychedelic rock, like Australian band. And so there was so many Australian people in the audience. It was really cool. And this one guy, like, he got down. He was like, does anyone want to get on my shoulders? And my roommate was like, I am not going to do that, but I know she will. And so I was like, hell yeah, I will. So I got on his shoulders, and he was like fucking like moshing while I'm on his shoulders. And I was like, please get me down. It was fun for like 5 seconds. But
I don't know why I'm scared of Australians. I feel like they have a lot of secrets that I don't know. But I feel like most of them could also best me physically.
They
They're
are
going to survive like kangaroo fights. And
Well,
stuff.
like I don't know Sarah Lawrence very well, but I sat with her and a couple other people at the Improv one night, and she got like a burger and a plate of fries, and I was chewing gum, and she offered me fries, so I like took the gum out and like took a fry, and then there was like a little bit of fry, and she thought it was my gum, so she looked over at me and she goes, "What the fuck is that? Is that your gum? Is that your fucking gum?" And I was like, no.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
Yeah, I was just immediately just like, oh my God, I know.
Don't hurt me, please.
Jesus. Yeah.
She's also like 6'3". She's so big.
She's solid 6 feet.
So
at least.
tall. Yeah. Like it,
That's
Wow.
funny.
I feel like like there's no way her brothers aren't like 6'9". You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
enormous men.
Yeah, she probably fist fought him and shit.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, she could kick an
Australians
ass.
can fucking fight you.
Yeah. So do you have any stories in particular that you're feeling hesitant to tell that you can't? You brought a notebook full of ideas.
Full of ideas. That's just what the notebook says. But
Did you buy
no,
that
I
at
just
Barnes &
wrote a couple of things down about the times that I passed out, because I knew I was going to forget some. I'm not hesitant to tell any stories. Honestly, nothing, like the most crazy stories are ones from just drinking.
Yeah.
I think the ones where I fall asleep randomly, that has been a major concern in my life. And, I mean, it slowed down since, but there was another time where my friends and I were playing Manhunt. And so my friend, he was like living in a new development, and so there was a lot of like open fields and all that stuff. So I went to go hide, and I was laying like horizontally, and as soon as my head hits any surface, I just fell asleep. And so I was asleep for like an hour, and they were looking for me, and they said that all they were looking for was just feet, like laying in a ditch.
It was the middle of the night.
Yeah.
God.
And so finally I like woke up, and I didn't even think that time had passed. I thought it was like 5 minutes. And so I walk out and I meet my friend. She's like almost in tears. She's like, "Mary, I can't believe, like, where were you?" And I was like, "I was gone for 5 minutes. What do you mean?" Yeah, I was I was hiding, and it like I just didn't even know that I fell asleep.
Oh,
I just thought that like when I was like opening, it was just like, I don't know what it was.
You seem like not the type to do anything.
Right?
Which is kind of funny, because I feel like when I first met you, you thought I was going to probably be an asshole. I think you're the only person to ever say, like, on a microphone, like, oh, he looks like he's going to be intimidating. And then he's not. And so it's like the exact opposite. So
oh my gosh.
That's kind of funny.
I'm sorry. I hope that wasn't mean. I
No,
mean,
not at all.
You have a neck tattoo. Obviously, you're a little intimidating.
I don't know if it's intimidating. It's a bird. I have a bird. Yeah.
You do have was it a leopard on the back?
Yeah,
of your
but
neck?
a leopard is kind of.
You know who comments on my tattoos though, which is funny, is this comic who has tattoos kind of touched on it, but it's an old subject. Is like, people are like, "Oh, do girls always say stuff?" And I'm like, "Nope, It's just dudes. It's just dudes, and then sometimes older women who are like old women who are like, "What's that on your arm? Didn't it hurt?"
Yeah.
My grandma still thinks they're temporary.
Oh no.
Yeah, she's like, you can wash them off, right?
You're gonna let her think that until she dies?
Yeah, she's
okay.
93, I think.
So she's on her way out. So.
Yeah, she's had like multiple surgeries in the last like 10 years, and she just bounces back. She's crazy.
Holy shit.
Yep.
93.
My dad does this thing where he's like, your grandpa would have been 95 today. And I'm like, Dad, he died like 15 years ago. That doesn't count. That's like, that doesn't work.
It's over now.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad. Yeah. So have you am I allowed to ask your age?
Oh yeah.
Okay. How old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, okay, cool. All right.
Okay, so, yeah. I'm working on a joke about how everyone thinks I'm so much older than I am.
I don't think you're so. You just never know, because like I've had people get offended, especially women get offended. I don't know if they actually get offended or if it's like they don't know if they should get offended.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's
there was a 21-year-old who got offended at a mic when somebody said, "How old are you?" And she's like, "You're not supposed to ask a lady's age." I'm like, "You're not a lady.
You're a young adult still.
You are a child." But yeah, so did you have like a phase for?
Not really a phase. I mean, I feel like I just kind of started drinking when I was younger.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Indiana University of Pennsylvania. It's just It's just like a state school.
Is it like a billboard school?
Yeah. There was like 15,000 people. It was close to Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And yeah, that was like known as being a party school. There was like nothing to do there besides drink.
Oh yeah.
It was just one of those like shit towns.
I knew a dude who went to Creighton in Iowa, and that was like the only thing to do was go to basketball games and get trashed. So I'd imagine it's something similar.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I honestly feel like I not like partied more in high school, but like once like freshman and sophomore year, like I definitely partied a lot then because I was like so new to college. But I wasn't the type to like rebel and, you know, go on all these crazy like benders and stuff because like my mom kind of let me live that in high school. And I feel like when a kid is so sheltered and they've never partied, they go to college and they just flunk out because they've never experienced fun. You? That was you? You had helicopter parents, or you just chose to not?
I didn't drink or do anything when I was growing up. So then I went to college and I was like, oh, ecstasy seems cool. And then I was like, oh, cocaine seems like it smells good. Maybe I should try that essential oil. And then I remember, like I would just, college is so fucking weird because the stuff that would be so alarming, like to see an adult do, it's so normal to see a college kid do.
Yeah.
Like I would bring a water bottle of like rum and Coke to classes, and people would be like, "Ah, that's fun," and then like we would like pass it around. And then now, if you saw somebody doing that, you'd be like,
"That person has a problem." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've definitely done my fair share of drugs, like the past two that you mentioned. But I never let it like take control of my life. I don't think. I've always been a pretty functioning person. I show up to work on time. I don't sleep all day. And I only use it like recreationally, you know?
Yeah.
Like if I'm chilling at home and someone's like, let's do Molly. I'm like, let's not.
Why not?
I mean, no one has ever suggested that.
You don't want to play video games on Molly. Molly is it used to be so taboo, and now it's like just so whatever. Like it's just not a thing anymore.
Right, yeah. People just do it whenever.
Well, people don't understand the chemistry of it too, which is just like it's the market for synthetic drugs is so massive that like the odds you're getting actual MDMA are so slim.
Yeah.
And because it comes from a tree in Malaysia that's an endangered species that's super protected. And so like you got to think about how many people can manipulate the chemistry in China and then somebody buys it on the dark web and then they get it and cut it up versus how many people, you know, can actually get pure product and spend their time and money trying to import a tree stump to make the pure product. Like, what are they going to go with? So,
wow, yeah, I never thought about that.
Yeah, and acid
goes through so many people. Acid is scary. You have to be careful. I remember in college, I like did not have a very good experience, and it just felt like chemicals. I mean, which is what it is, but just like really
I know exactly
wrong.
what you
Like
mean.
I remember the guy that we got it from. We went up to his room, and it was just all like black light, and he had like, it was just like such a stereotype. Like he looked like he tripped almost every day, which we found out. We were like, how often do you do this? And he was like, I don't know, not much, like maybe once or twice a week. And I was like, that's a lot. Maybe don't do that.
Like it's going to the gym. I keep
Yeah,
healthy. You know. Have you ever done acid?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's what I never did it. I was just I'm always two in my head anyway, which I guess acid would have maybe cleared up or made so much worse. So
I think it helped me a lot. Like I'll try to do it once a year just to reset my fucked up brain. But I do like 3 and I just sit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and then
See,
just
I
like
always
let the
just, like-
cartoons fucking explode my brain.
God damn, is it really like that? Where
If you take 3 hits, you go to crazy town. Like you better just
Yeah.
sit alone and just think about your life.
I remember people would just do it and then just hang out, and I'm like, what do you like? How are you?
Well, that's what you probably should for like for hard stuff like that. You should just be in like a safe environment with your friends,
Yeah.
especially if it's the first time.
I hate doing. I will never do it with people for the first time ever again because you never know
Sure.
Really?
how they're gonna react to it. Yeah. Especially mushrooms. Like the last time I did mushrooms with this girl for the very first time, she cried for 8 hours. It was and I'm a mushrooms. I can't console anyone because I'm tripping fucking nuts
Yeah. Oh my god, that's so
too.
weird.
It was the worst experience of my life.
Did you just watch her and you're like,
Yeah, I know.
There's
Like just
acid
every now and
coming out
again,
of
like
your
pat,
eyeballs.
pat. Like I didn't know what to do.
That's horrible. I've only done shrooms once, and it was so much fun. Like we were just laughing the entire time, but we stayed inside.
Yeah, it's
and
usually
it was me and
great.
2 other
I don't know what the
friends.
fuck this girl's problem was. It was
That's
psilocybin literally makes you happy. Like it's
Yeah.
shown it treats depression and PTSD and all kinds of stuff. So
I would consider doing psilocybin in a clinical environment, or like some sort of monitoring, or I would do ayahuasca, but later on in my life, just because I'm so like I'm a person who, at this point, if I let I'm never worried about using anything, but that also like I have no interest in using anything anymore.
yeah,
So like if I let something in, like I feel like I would be just one drink won't. And at this point I'm like I have such panic attacks over just being alive that like if I have like too much tea, I'm just like you know what I mean? Like I'm like I'm gonna die. So I don't need a hangover or like a fucking watching the sky melt.
Yeah, or just constantly in your head, like thinking about every bad decision you've ever made. Sometimes that's what happens to me. Honestly, just when I smoke weed, sometimes.
Yeah, weed gets people don't get also that the weed here is so high tech.
it's
Oh my gosh.
ridiculous,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah, so when I watch the people who, how often do you smoke every day?
Pretty much.
Typically, yeah. So you're like used to it.
Mhm.
The people who I know who smoke like multiple times a day, it's like, how are you doing that? Because they're just taking like the dab pen hits, just ripping them, and I'm like, what the fuck is your brain right now? Like, and they're doing comedy and shit, and they're on stage, just like, and then about that time, like my mom, and like they're ripping out jokes, and I'm like, what the fuck? How? I can't even do that. Just being me.
Yeah, I really try not to smoke before I do stand up because I just feel like I would forget everything I was about to say.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people be too stoned on stage, but like especially here, people seem like they're just so fucking like that's their day. It's just like I just smoke weed just to get by. So, which is so much better than fucking,
doing heroin
or Oxycontin. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Oh gosh.
Hair School has a big Xanax, Oxycontin kind of thing.
Oh boy.
People
How
would
the
be
hell
like,
do you cut hair on a Xanax? I feel like you just fucking fall aside. I never understood Xanax addiction.
yeah.
I never got it.
Yeah, I don't
I
really
just
like
would
those.
take a nap. That's all
Yeah,
I do on
I've
Xanax.
taken a Xanax one time, and it was like I was on a plane. I did a study abroad in Argentina, and I met a guy on a plane, or on the plane home, and he was like, "You afraid of flying?" And I was like, what? Where are you from? And he was like, I moved here from Texas. I opened up a couple Subways. And I'm like, okay, cool. And he had like Louis Vuitton luggage. And he's like, yeah, so you afraid of flying? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, I got Xanax bars and Klonopins. And if you want anything, just let me know. And I was like, okay. And so I'm like drinking a little bit. And I was like, can I have a Xanax bar? And he was like, yeah, for sure, man. And then I just sat with him and talked. And we were both just like, you ever speak Spanish?
I love that you take drugs from a stranger. That's
yeah.
I mean, did you?
They
you
were
just
in
trusted
like
him?
a fucking a pack.
Okay.
Like it was an
So
actual
it looked
prescription.
legit, yeah.
But it was from Argentina, so like they don't get many imports there.
Yeah, no.
But also I would just do pressed ecstasy pills all the time. I'd be like, it's safe. But that chemical feel it's so like when you said that about the acid, I've had that with Molly multiple times where it's just like, did I just fucking eat gasoline? So because then you have
Molly
this,
tastes like shit.
it does, but you know when it's real.
Yeah.
Because then all of a sudden you start having like an Adderall meth trip, and you're just like, oh fuck, like I just ate meth. So which you can do, I guess. I heard you can eat meth.
Oh god, I've never heard that.
Yeah.
See, like I've been around like drugs and stuff, but I feel like I'm so far removed from people who do heroin, or
Yeah, me
either
too.
I'm so oblivious. Because I feel like, well, back where I'm from in New York, oh my gosh, so many people are dying of heroin. I mean, so many people are dying of heroin everywhere. But
in
in
my
that,
town's bad, too.
yeah, in small towns, it's just really sad. And there were people that died that I didn't even know smoked weed. I was like, how do you hide that? So
There was a documentary that's on Hulu, and it profiled a girl that was dating one of my friends in high school, and I was like, I met her, she's so nice. And
oh
then
my god.
it was also a girl I was in treatment with, and then another dude I grew up with. Utah is one of the biggest opiate addiction capitals in the U.S., so it's the same deal. But I remember people like smoking it, and like me hearing about it. I never saw it.
Okay, yeah.
Like I remember this kid ended up in rehab because he smoked heroin a bunch, which is super, super strange. I don't know how you hear heroin. I think there was a time in my life, maybe when I was like 19, if you would have been like, you want to try this? I probably would have been like, yeah, maybe. But like for the most part, if I heard heroin, I'd be like, no, thank you.
Yeah,
Like,
how do you even like get started? I just don't even know how you get started. And obviously, once you start, you can't stop. But like,
It makes sense. It starts usually with pain pills, and then when those don't work anymore,
yeah,
then you go into heroin. But like I
cheaper,
never I think saw heroin, and I've been to all kinds of
I've
fucking
never
parties.
seen it.
I've never seen it.
It's not like a drug you take and then go do things. Like usually it's like
You're-
you're in a sad alone room and you're just fucking shooting it up.
Yeah.
I
by
think
yourself.
that would have been a great wake-up call, though, is if you just stumble upon a heroin party. Like,
Yeah,
you just
that's-
walk in and everybody's just like,
You're like, oh no, I should leave immediately.
and the guy's like, no, dude, this is where it's at. Come on in.
Like, oh god.
This is fucking, like, industrial,
Oh my
slow
god.
techno.
There's probably so many crack houses in downtown. Yikes.
What, downtown
Yeah.
here?
Downtown. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, here is so crazy. I drove through Skid Row one time just to see it, and I was like, oh, this is terrifying.
Yeah. Like, where do you live? In?
Echo Park.
Oh,
So
oh, that's
I
nice.
border downtown.
So yeah, you're
we're
pretty
right
close.
on the corner, or we're right like on the border of Angelino Heights and downtown. So like, if you drive down Temple, you'll get to the Disney thing.
Yeah.
It gets pretty fucking like.
But
3
Echo
blocks
Park
away.
is nice, right? Like,
Yeah.
There's not really a lot of homeless there.
There's a decent amount.
Yeah.
We got a neighborhood homeless guy. Fucking hate that guy. He's an asshole.
There's always a neighborhood homeless guy. There's a neighborhood homeless guy in Sherman Oaks too, and he wears like a purple wig, and he just
Oh, that's
moves around
cool.
on a shopping cart.
So he's fun. Ours
He-
isn't fun.
He's a heckler. He likes
Oh,
to he likes to say mean things sometimes, but they all do.
Jesus. Yeah, ours, he wears a red crop top hoodie, and he holds up a cardboard sign with no words on it. And I just
That's great.
I hate how cocky he is about it. Like, I'm just like, do you know how long it took me to speak to humans and feel like, hello, how are you? And he's just like, here's a thing. Give me money for holding a thing. I just
Wow.
hate that confidence. I hate it. Doesn't even have, and I watched him take a heroin shit on the street once.
Oh God.
Yeah.
That's fun.
I've never seen anyone take a shit. Cross my fingers.
Now. Yeah.
Where was the other one?
Right directly in front of the Filipino town sign. And she was like screaming at like everybody driving past as though it was like we were invading her bathroom.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's how fucked up you have to be like, why are y'all in my bathroom? So it's because I was like, what is she doing? Is she crying? Nope, she's shitting. So,
Oh yeah, my first week here, I think I was went to the NOHO station, and like right as it goes down, like some lady just went in between the two escalators and just started dropping a mean shit. Just like was making eye contact with people. I think I was like smoking a cigarette, talking on my cell phone. And I look over and I'm like, "This is happening right now." What the fuck?
here we are in the big city.
Yeah,
There's so many weird things that remind me how close I am to like I'm like I'm doing just fine.
Yeah.
But if I make one wrong move, I'm right there with them. So,
That's scary.
Yeah. Like I know people who live in their cars and stuff and they do comedy and they're doing so much better than somebody who's, a homeless guy.
Shitting on the street.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a pretty big, you have to lose a lot of things and have no fucking friends either. Because plenty of people couch surf in this city, so are theoretically homeless. But like, if you're on the street, you're an asshole, probably.
Yeah.
I think everybody thinks that. Is it Chris Heist?
Yeah, everyone thinks he's homeless.
Yeah.
No.
And then I saw him getting like a Hyundai.
Yeah, he just drives in a really nice car.
Yeah.
I
Maybe
think the
that's
dude
where
comes
he
for
lives.
money or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what
Have
his
you
deal
seen
is.
him before? He wears like patchy jeans and like he's got really long scraggly hair. He's
Oh,
a really
yeah.
nice guy.
I think, does he wear like ripped clothes?
Yeah.
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 He looks actually homeless.
I think he's just super nihilist anarchist, and he just like when he gets on stage, he just talks about like he grips the microphone, like he's Zach De La Rocca from Rage Against the Machine.
Yeah.
And he talks about how we need to take down the system, and so I was like, he's homeless for sure.
Wow.
And then I saw him get in his car, and I was like, oh nope.
Yeah, maybe he just wears the same clothes every day.
I think so.
I feel like I've seen him on stage, and he did say that. He said that he was like a minimalist or something,
Yeah,
and he
he's
just
super
wore
nice
the
guy,
same
too.
outfit like every day.
Yeah.
I guess that's all you need.
Takes all kinds. Takes all kinds to make this world run. What's the worst drug experience you've had?
I would have to say in college when I took too much acid with my roommate and our other friend. And
Your father friend?
no, my other friend.
Your other friend. I thought you said my father
father
friend.
That's what he said too. I was like, I'm not going to ask
Is
about
that a
that.
Baltimore thing?
No.
Sounds like you were in a cult. Like, this is my father
Our
friend.
father figure.
We were doing our weekly vitamins. And then
Take your acid.
Doing a seance.
Be free, child.
I mean, nothing like terrible happened. It just, we took too much and it was obviously like a bad batch or something. And we all just had like a really kind of bad experience. My one friend could not even like form words. She just had to like sit and watch a movie and she couldn't talk. And then nothing really bad happened to me. I just was like, we were kind of like at a party and I just wanted to go home so badly. And I did, and I just like sat up all night. And then I was like, I'm never doing that again.
is there stimulant feeling within doing acid?
I mean,
You can't really sleep.
yeah.
I don't know if it's stimulant.
Does it just is it like close eye vision kind of stuff too? Like
yeah.
Okay.
I think so. From my, it depends on how much you take too.
Yeah.
So explain like ideally how an acid trip should feel. Like, is it just like?
So it takes a couple hours to kick in.
Oh, that's
And
scary.
yeah,
That's
so you
sinister.
just kind of have to like wait, and then you start like kind of seeing things like move, like this wall right here with the lines. It would kind of like look like it was waving, and then yeah, you just start seeing like colors and shapes and fun. Like if you look at the clouds, you can just like make things out of the clouds, and then it takes a while to wear off too. That's why you can't really sleep.
Yeah.
It gets annoying too.
Yeah, you're like, bro, I'm not even having fun anymore.
Yeah, it's
like,
like,
can
could
this just be
over?
over?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it wasn't like a terrible experience. There was another time where, oh my God, I sound like I do this too much. I hope my mom isn't going to listen to this.
She'll listen.
Mom's a big fan.
Well,
Hello, Mother Romeo.
we were all,
And father friend.
there was like 6 of us, and someone was like trying to move the TV stand, and the TV just fucking fell over onto the ground and broke and like shattered. And it was a brand new TV that they had just gotten like 2 days ago. It's a real trip ruiner. But
oh shit! So that happens too. Your trip can just
no, it doesn't like stop.
It just goes a different direction.
Yeah, you're just kind of like, oh, okay, well that was a fucking bummer. So let's try and do something else that's happy and not think about that. Even though that's like all you can think about is a broken $500 TV.
And having to deal with it when you're sober. The first time I ever rolled, I was with a bunch of friends, and my family has a condo, or had a condo in Coronado, California. And so we went on a big spring break trip there, and none of us, I think one or two of us had rolled. It was like 8 or 9 people. And that's a helicopter.
Jesus Christ, it's flying low as hell to make that much noise in here.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a Skippy P190.
Cops are looking for a motherfucker.
So when I tried it, it was like the first time was on my 21st birthday. We took half. We were in Vegas, and nothing happened. And so we were like, fuck, maybe it's a bum batch. And they were red Supermans, and so I guess the red has some sort of significance. Later found out that means that it has like possibly meth in it.
Oh my gosh.
So we took them, and we all just talked and had a fucking blast. And so it was like all of us sitting at the table having so much fun, and then like I would walk to the next room, and then I would like look at the pictures that we had, and like there was one with like boats on the water, and like the boats would move. And
that's cool.
Then like I would go to one and it had like the, like hot air balloons, and like the hot air balloons would move. And then I spent, 3 years of doing ecstasy trying to get that one thing. And it just never happened again. It was a blast and so I was like, yeah, it's great when it's great. But then I would do Molly or I would do ecstasy, and I would just fucking drink.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
So.
Yeah, you shouldn't really like mix either. And if you're tripping or rolling or anything, it's just like pointless to drink alcohol. You're just dehydrating yourself. And you're not gonna get drunk.
Wait, but doesn't the alcohol hydrate you? Doesn't it? Wait a minute. Are you sure?
Well, if you drink Coors Light, I mean that's basically water.
I just thought that I was supposed to drink Appletinis, but. It's whatever. I ran up a $900 bar tab at a rave.
That's a lot of money.
So many statements that you could hate me for. But it was on New Year's Eve, and I was so fucked up. I was rolling, and then I was drinking, and then like the drinks don't really affect you when you roll. And so, or they affect you in a different way. So I was like, drinks for you, let's buy shots. And then at the end of the night, I was like, here's your bill. And I was like, cool.
Oh my gosh. I have never racked up a bar tab that high. I can't.
I had like $1,500 in savings, and I like blew it.
In one night, basically.
Well, I mean, like and I was like, how much does somebody usually tip on something like this? He's like, I mean, like a bill. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't blacked out in a while. That happened a lot in college, but I just can't stand the feeling of waking up and not knowing what you did or what you said, or especially like on Snapchat, since your messages go away. You're like, what the fuck did I when you see like your crush or something, you're like, oh my God, what did I say? What did I say?
Oh yeah.
I had Tinder, when I was drinking at one point, and I just remember I was because like I would drink by myself and get so lonely that I would just be swiping, and then I would wake up in the morning with all these matches, and I'd be like, when did I swipe on this dude? Like, what? And then like they would message me and be like, wow, I'm so surprised that you. And I'm like, oh God.
I don't remember that.
It's nice to meet you. But yeah, fuck God, there's so many. That's such an uncomfortable feeling, waking up and being like, it became a theme in one of my relationships with a girl where I would wake up and she'd be like, you know what you did last night? And I'd be like, please don't tell me. And it was just
yeah, that's that. I experienced that with my ex too. It was
on your end or his end?
On his end. Well, and my end too sometimes, but mostly him.
How old is he?
He's my age too.
Okay. Does he live here?
No, he lives. Well, actually, we both lived in Pennsylvania. We met in college, but we broke up, and then I came out to LA, and he moved to Georgia, and now he's like doing videography and stuff, and doing.
Still friends with him?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, I stay updated. Like I'm rooting for him, you know.
Is he an alcoholic?
No, I don't think so.
Just a blackout artist.
Yeah, you know, had his fair share.
Some people just doesn't. Well, like I just don't have a stop button. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how to stop. Which is like, so now I don't. Like I'm at a point where like I don't care if people drink, but I'm also immediately like, how do you do that? How do you do it with just one? Like that's crazy. What's the point of drinking? It tastes so bad.
Yeah.
So it's so weird.
That's true. I do like the taste of beer, but if I'm out, I'm not gonna get just one drink. I'm not gonna pay $10 and then not even be drunk.
That's so weird to think about. You could buy a meal for a drink.
It's
like a measured
stupid.
Drink.
Like 15. I've been places where there are $15 cocktails.
That's so gross.
It's just.
Have you ever looked at like a VIP bottle service menu?
Oh God.
The markups are like 1,000%. So there's this club in San Diego called like Sky or something, and their lowest quality bottle, which was a bottle of Jack Daniels, which imagine being table or bottle serviced, a bottle of Jack Daniels, was $900.
What the fuck?
Yeah,
is even the point of that?
So it was just, and they bring it out with glow sticks. Like just some fucking Super Bowl, like some fucking Super Bowl party. Like what? Who the fuck? It just God. So like, I saw Nas once in San Diego, and I remember seeing these like douchebag dudes, just dudes sitting at a VIP table getting bottle service, and I'm like, they probably just spent their paychecks, and
when they could have just sat at home and did the same fucking
and they'd be
thing.
like, girls, get over here. And they're like, no. We're good. We're okay.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Yeah. So how long was your forte into cocaine?
I pretty much experienced everything in college.
Okay.
I would say. And
it's so weird how it just shows up.
I know. Yeah, and like how the idea crosses your mind, like the first time you're just like, so let's just get cocaine. And you're like, well, how do we... Finding drugs in college was was probably more fun than actually doing the drugs, or dangerous. Just like going to a random stranger's house, meeting with them, trying to get their number, texting their like fucking trap phone.
Yeah. The dude that I bought cocaine from was such a cokehead that the first time I went over there is this nasty, trappy apartment. And it was like in a weird, not even a cul-de-sac. It bordered like an industrial yard and like one of those electrical powerhouse things. Yeah. And then like just a field.
Oh my God.
And
that screams meth.
So yeah, so we like pull in and I walked into his house. He's got this fucking pit bull that looked like Marshawn Lynch in a pit bull costume. Like it was just like, it wasn't even a dog. It was just, and it was glued to me. Like it was like, what do you? And I'm like, okay, is your dog nice? And he's like, yeah, he's fine. Just don't make any sudden movements. But this dude was such a batshit cokehead that he's like, all right, yeah, here you go, do a bump. And so I did a bump, and he pours out this like, it was like as thick as like a fucking baby carrot line. And
oh my God,
he's just like, yeah, go for it. And I'm like, okay, I'd done coke like once, and so I did it, and I'm just like, and then he does it, and he didn't even plug his nostril.
Oh,
so he had
my
just
God.
wrecked his nose so much that he had turned his nose into just a single straw to deliver cocaine into his frontal lobe. It was like and I'm like, wow, this is
so cool.
Living the dream. Wow, buying cocaine.
Oh my gosh. You see, and I always feel like I do such a tiny amount of what is actually recommended.
Yeah.
Like if I do coke, I do like the tiniest line. But then in movies, I'm like, Jesus, yeah, it looks like a fucking baby carrot. Like, how do you do that?
It was horrifying, and I felt great for about 35 minutes.
Yeah, that's all it lasts too. Yeah. It's so stupid.
And then I brought it to a party, and it's like, it's interesting bringing coke to a party because you pour it out and everybody's like, like it's just, ooh, this is gonna be fun. And then there's always the one person in the corner who's like, I'm not gonna touch it. I'm not doing that.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, you're the person that brings coke to a party and shares.
Yeah, I had to.
I'm not like that.
Really?
Hell no.
I think that was like the fun.
It's for me.
Yeah.
Well, so, like I think I would start that way, and then I would do it, and I'd be like, sharing is fun. You know
Well, I feel bad also because, like, especially in Ohio, not a lot of people do coke, unfortunately. So, like, I'd be that creepy dude, like, I don't want to just be the guy who brought it to the party.
Yeah.
And also, like, when I was younger, I didn't want to ruin anyone else's life. Like,
God,
it's the first time. Oh, my God. I'm like, no.
I don't know. I know a couple people who were, like, full-blown coke addicts, but, like, I never saw it that way where, like, I could get addicted to it because it was just so draining.
Yeah.
But, like, I guess I never thought of it that way, where there are people who fucking, you know, who are just that's their thing.
Yeah.
Because I feel like you max out on it.
I just don't understand how people can spend the money on that.
It is very expensive.
And you have to keep doing it to keep feeling it.
Yeah.
Like, it only lasts 20 minutes.
That's why I think crack is like that. And then people move to meth because meth, your body can't metabolize it. So you're just fucking high until you're
Oh
not.
my gosh.
Yeah.
It can last like 8 hours, I think, on meth. It's a long fucking time.
There were those.
Wow.
There was that couple that smoked meth, and then they were in their car and got lost in a blizzard and just wandered off into the blizzard and died. The first time they smoked meth.
Oh my God.
It's like the perfect meth ad. Like, don't do it because this nice little Christian couple died.
Jesus. See, yeah, that is something, you know, when people are like, oh, what drugs have you? Never meth, never heroin, never fucking crack. Like, how do you even find that shit?
I smoked crack once.
You have?
Yeah, on
Oh
accident.
shit.
Yeah.
On accident.
Yeah.
Did someone tell you it was something else?
Yeah. I mean, it was in, I don't know if it was crack or if it was just coke sprinkled in something, but, or if that's even how it works. I guess it was like, I can't even remember what. No, I was taking dabs. It was when dabs first came out. And he was like, yeah, it's got rocks in it too. And I don't know if he meant moon rocks like Molly or if he meant like crack. But after, I felt fantastic. Just for a minute. And then I was really high. I smoked PCP once too.
Oh, I've never done that either. I've never done like Oxycontin either.
Yeah. I did Oxycontin once just because I had a migraine.
So yeah, you used it for its right purpose.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Same with Xanax. If you use it to sleep.
Yeah.
Xanax, though, people that do Xanax and drink at the same time, that's like putting Mentos in your stomach and then drinking Coke.
Yeah, it's
like,
so bizarre. I watched a dude fight cops when he was blacked out on Xanax and drinking.
Oh my God.
It was really cool to watch. But they let him go, and then he did it again. So it was like we were at a party.
Why would they let him go?
Some girl, I think they just knew he was some stupid kid. So we were at a party. I was like 19 maybe. And this dude was there with his girlfriend, and his girlfriend was one of those girls who was really flirty and very out of his league. And he knew it, and she was like friends with frat dudes. And some of the frat dudes showed up, and they were hitting on her. And like one of them kissed her on the cheek, and he saw it and then tried to intervene. And then the frat dude like palmed his face, and so he just was like and like and ran up on him, and like him and all of his friends beat up this frat dude, and then they took him inside the party, so if the cops showed up, the cops couldn't come inside. And then like, so we're all standing outside and then assuming that these kids are getting beat up, which they were. And then cops came, they said they had reasonable whatever, pulled him out. We're gonna let the kid go. They're like, all right, we're gonna let you go. And then he saw the kid that he had just beat up in the back of his car and slapped him in the face in front of the cops. And then he ran, and then the cops chased after him, picked him up, and then he's like fighting off the cops, and then he woke up in jail. So,
fun.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's.
I think he's in jail for graffiti now.
Oh, that's so fucking lame.
That's a really shitty place.
You can get, like,
I'd rather be in jail for murdering someone.
You can get like deep prison time for graffiti.
What?
Yeah.
Why?
I had a buddy who has since super nice kid that I kind of grew up around. And he died a couple years ago, but he was so wanted for graffiti in Salt Lake and moved to Oakland that he was extradited by gang unit back to Salt Lake, and his bail was set at like $3 million.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my
ridiculous.
God.
It was so weird because we saw him on TV and stuff. We're like, holy shit. But
Is it just like gang ties? Is that why?
no, well, I mean, like he had a graffiti crew, but like he wasn't.
Imagine being wanted just for being an artist and wanting to express yourself.
There's a Vice thing about it, and like these dudes are like, you just gotta like, I want to get up, you know, and it's like, what the fuck? You're 45. There's one dude who has stage 4 brain cancer, and he's like, I just want to get up. I'm like, dude, go get chemo. Yeah. Like, what are you doing? And he's like, there's no better thrill than like painting on the walls. And I'm like, oh my God.
It's really weird.
Yeah, it's very, very strange. And they're like, it's so thrilling.
Okay, maybe they deserve it then.
Yeah,
I think.
They're breathing in too much spray paint.
Yeah, I mean, it could
just be high as fuck.
I've seen a bunch of people do it here, like real like gang members. But
I just wish I could understand what the fuck any of them mean.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like some of them are just like they don't even look like they say words.
Some of them, like the ones on the trains and like that are really like those. A lot of those dudes are like world famous.
Yeah.
But then like if it's just like
she did some squiggles.
Kids. Yeah, those are just like kids and people who want to be like kings, basically. That's what they call them. But yeah, it's so fucking weird that these kids get like. I know a couple of people who actually got prison sentences. So it's like, what did you do? I murdered somebody. What did you do? I colored.
On a wall.
I made a pretty picture.
I drew on the walls, and then he said, "Man, what time is it?" Yeah, I feel like acid would have fucked me up so bad, but I still wish I would have done it. I did shrooms once when I was 14, and I had a terrible trip.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Where were you?
At my friend Jordan's house, and he lived out in like one of those communities like you were talking about, where it was like a development, and it was the middle of winter, and he was like 6'2" or 3, and he had like emo scene kid hair. And I just remember we were having fun, and then suddenly I looked out the window, and he was standing outside of the window like this with his hair covering his face. And I was like, okay, this isn't fun anymore. This is God. This isn't fun. And then I had a hangover from it the next day.
Oh shit.
And I think it was Easter. And my dad's like, what's wrong with you? And I was like, I did mushrooms.
You told him?
Yeah.
Oh, you're such a good kid.
I told my dad most things. To my, like, it was my downfall a couple of times. Because I sold weed for like 2 months. And I told him that I did that. And he's like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because it's weed. It's not, nobody's going to kill me for it. And then he just wouldn't let it go.
Oh my gosh. Don't say that. I knew someone who was selling weed, and he was alone in his apartment, and the guy that he was selling to, he looked down and he just took out a gun.
Oh, cool.
It was over like fucking $200 worth of weed too. I was like, you're really going to kill someone over that?
I got a buddy that got shot. Well, it's so illegal in Ohio. And my buddy had like a pound, and a guy just shot him in like a fucking Speedway parking lot just for fucking having a pound.
Killed him?
Yeah.
Holy
and just took his pound and fucking dipped. And I don't think they ever fucking found the guy either. But that's because that's what, when you make it as illegal as fucking cocaine, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's like they need to decriminalize most drugs because
less people would get fucking murdered over it.
Yeah,
and you can at least control it and make sure it's not cut with weird shit if it's like regulated.
The U.S. is just so hardline on their drug policies that it would never happen, but that's what needs to happen.
Denver passed the shrooms bill.
Yeah,
that's dope. They did that.
I think if anywhere would legalize or decriminalize drugs, it would be here or Colorado, and then or God, Seattle is such a fucking shithole when it comes to drugs. Like, have you been to Seattle?
I haven't.
Oh my God, it's like the downtown is like here.
Really?
Like, yeah, it's just.
Shit.
I've heard it's like real homeless, real.
Yeah, it's like Dawn of the Dead. It's very bizarre.
It's crazy.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so you're walking down the street and everybody's fine, and then suddenly.
Well, like Kurt Cobain was fucking homeless for a long time. Like, I feel like everyone is homeless.
Yeah, I don't think was Kurt Cobain born there or did he move there? I listened to
he moved there when he was like 15 or ran away to there. When
have
he was
you heard
like 15.
Disgraceland, that podcast? He does one on Kurt Cobain, and it made me hate Kurt Cobain because I hate Nirvana anyway. But it was like it made him sound like such a spineless like wannabe that I was like, yeah, fuck this guy. And God rest his soul. And but he just was trying so hard, and then he like went to go see Gigi Allen in prison. And Gigi Allen was like called them fags and told them to leave. You know who Gigi Allen is, right?
Mm-mm.
What?
I don't either.
Oh,
I'm
my
sorry,
God.
you were saying it, and I was just like,
Gigi
Wow,
Allen
yeah.
was like a punk rock singer, I guess, but he would like get naked, and he was like an avid racist Nazi, and he would get naked and shit and like jerk off with his shit at concerts.
What
And,
the
like,
fuck?
What?
He was suicidal and like born to like a crazy meth head schizophrenic, and he would do all this crazy shit at his shows, like throw shit at people, like sexually assault or rape people in his audience, like dudes and girls, like make him suck his dick. And he had like this micro dick too. There's video of it.
I've seen it.
And he
tiny.
was like gonna kill himself at a live show.
Like he should have.
Yeah, and
Probably.
and then he ended up overdosing on heroin, but it
No,
was
well,
like,
okay. You know,
So, yeah, it
no,
worked
he's dead.
out.
He's super dead. But yeah, no, it's just a massive piece of shit.
Wow.
But he led this huge counterculture. He was kind of like a cult favorite among a lot of young rock stars.
Ew. See, why? Like,
Yeah,
that's what you want to look up to?
He's pretty foul. Yeah, and his music is. A lot of people say it's very good. It's not good. It's just
Yeah,
it's
I've
just
never even
punk
heard it.
rock. Yeah,
I was never much of the punk scene. I'm more metal than punk.
yeah.
It's like we do somehow less crazy shit than punk people.
It's
in the
very
metal
interesting.
scene.
Most metal, even if like the dudes are pieces of shit, at least metal takes a lot of talent.
It's really hard to play.
And then a lot of punk rock, like the older punk rock, old hardcore, is really good. And
I believe it or not, most people, the hardest guitar to play is country guitar and metal guitar. Like, if you're really skilled
Or
to play
drums.
country guitar.
those drums.
Oh,
are
country
so
drums
crazy.
are really fucking intense too, believe it or not. Oh, well, metal drums.
Yeah, metal
Dude,
drums.
forget about it. You gotta be so fast.
But country music is
Amazing. I love country music, and I miss it so much.
You have a country music vibe about you.
you do.
I do?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take it.
Like you need to be wearing a tiny hat.
I do. I mean, coming from Pennsylvania.
You like new country music?
I like the pop country music,
Oh.
like
Oh,
Old
stadium
Dominion
You're
and
a Florida Georgia Line
Florida-
fan.
Well, they're okay. I mean, they're just catchy.
You into Garth?
I don't really listen to like the too much older country, but
It's bizarre that Garth Brooks is richer and more famous than anybody. Like he sells out football stadiums multiple nights in a row.
wow.
Yeah, and he hasn't released an album in like 20 fucking years.
In minutes he'll sell them out. He'll sell out. He'll go to a country and like that whole country will shut down to go to his fucking concert.
Damn.
Yeah,
Bananas.
it's so nuts, and he just owns the world. And people are like, "Oh, Garth fell," like they'll be like Garth Brooks, and it's like,
I
nope,
reckon-
he's making so much money.
I recommend watching his YouTube channel because he doesn't know how to do it, and he's been so rich and famous for so long. He's weird. He's like
You
real
seen it
weird.
on your mom's house. Have you watched it?
No,
Oh, they make fun
yeah.
of
That's,
him.
yeah, it's the clips. I think that's where I first saw it because
Yeah.
like he's just like real creepy. Like H3H2 makes fun of him all the time.
They're making fun of John Travolta now for the same thing.
It's
He's
being
just like,
fucking.
Hi
you
guys, thank you for all the.
I'm pretty sure
Love.
Chris D'Elia makes fun of Brian Callen for doing that too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he's just
Right, it's the dad angles.
Yeah.
It'll be like Bill Burr kind of does it too, where it'll be like you can tell he's counting down, and then there's like that pause
Yeah.
before he talks. He's like, "Hey guys, God damn it, Dad." My dad will do it too, where he'll open his phone to Skype or like FaceTime, and he's like,
yeah.
"What are you?"
Or they're like,
the
how do I
downward
switch the
angle.
camera?
Yeah.
How do you help me? How do I do this?
Yeah. God, there's so many. It's so weird. They're like older comics who just remind me of my parents, and it's just they're not the comics who were like super into it. They're comics who were like, they got divorced. And
Yeah.
they're like, maybe I'll try comedy. Like there's
They're on their
that's
fifth
pretty bad.
dream now.
yeah. When there was one that went up, and I go, my biggest fear is my mom getting into comedy. And her being like, well, my son is so amazing at this, and like if she got divorced tomorrow, I feel like she would call me and be like, guess what, I'm moving to Los Angeles to start comedy with you.
No.
Yeah.
That'd be a great duo. There's not a lot of those anymore.
Mom and
Two
Pete.
team.
Yeah. My mom is pretty funny.
Oh, there is a particular genre I like to call momedy, which is like
Yeah.
it's like the older middle-aged women that do like it's essentially dad jokes, but from a mom.
It's like hacky club jokes.
It's almost like a monologue too, like they'll monologue it.
I just feel like they're talking to their kids angrily when you're the audience. It's like, oh, what did I do? Help.
Yeah, no, it's just like, how when you...
That shit murders on the road, though, because everyone who goes to see comedy shows are usually fucking middle-aged anyway.
Yeah, and they don't know what comedy is.
Yeah. It's just so funny how it comes out, because, like, when you see... There's some people who, when they get on stage, I'm like, this is going to be either really good, if they're honest, or really terrible. And a lot of them get up and they're like... how when your son, and I'm like, we're all like 28. Like, if somebody has a son, he's not in their life. Like, it's not like he's doing okay. But yeah, they get up and they do that comedy that your mother would love. But yeah, it's pretty hard to watch.
Just the oh yeah comedies are the relatable comedy basically, where it's just like, when your kids don't pick up their clothes, and you're like, mother of God.
That's what my mom would do. Her idea of me doing a bit is like, just do because like I can do voices, and like I just don't, because like I feel like it's just...
I don't do it that often in my act either. Like I do a few accents for my shitty parents, but that's about it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'll do I have this accent of, my brother lives in Seattle, so I'll make fun of everybody who lives in Seattle with this like certain thing, and she's like, just do Seattle guy. Like, people will love it. And just do a British accent. I'm like, what do you think this is?
Oh my God.
This is serious. You can't explain to anybody who's not in comedy how mean people in comedy are. Like, if you were to get on stage and just be like, like they'd be like, fuck you. We want you dead.
You're never allowed back here.
I hope you die and you get AIDS, and everybody gets AIDS. You're like, I thought this was supposed to be fun.
My mom told me I was special.
I love when people get, like, they come in and they're like, this is going to be fun. And then everybody's like, nope, we're all miserable.
Oh, yeah, you get your actors that come here and, like, it's my first time, and you try to be supportive, but then when it gets bad, everyone's like, I've turned on you. I think I'm going to look at my phone now.
I think the best is not the phone, but the look at the ground, where they're not really looking at the ground.
They're not even looking at anything. Like, no.
Oh, my God. That's what I do when I feel very uncomfortable, and I just don't want to make eye contact. And
yeah. Yep. Well, do you have anything else you want to talk about?
I don't think so. I mean, yeah, just all my craziest stories have honestly come from drinking. And that's why I want people to know that, like, doing recreational drugs is not that bad. I feel like acid and shrooms has such a bad connotation, and people just think that, like, you're like a druggie if you do it. But I've not had that many. I've had like one bad experience, and it's all a part of growing up. And honestly, most of my crazy shit has happened when I've been drunk and blacked out. So
you're a victim of your own mind,
right?
Man.
Alcohol is just as fucked up.
Alcohol
as drugs.
is so sinister.
Yeah,
like, because alcohol was my main bitch, and everything else, like, I was able to quit no problem. But alcohol was the one that I was like, this is so easy, like, because you can just get it anywhere.
Yeah.
You can go to 7-Eleven right down the fucking sidewalk.
Yeah. And
get like powerful alcohol. Some of that stuff's ridiculous.
They have actual, like, oh yeah, I forgot they have like 40s and shit.
Yeah, and they've got that like Mike's Hard that's like 10% and like Four Loko and crazy shit like that. Which
Four Loko, oh my God, did you guys go through a Four Loko phase?
Sure did.
I only drank it twice in my life. That just tastes like date rape. It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
It reminds me of high school.
Yeah,
God,
pretty
I
much.
never drank it in high school. I drank it, but that was when you were in high school. Was it like the real shit?
I don't know. It had like just come out, so all of it, like, we had to get our older brothers or like creeps from the neighborhood to buy us.
Yeah, it was the real shit.
Yeah, if it had just come out, that it was just like, I feel like they just ground up a bunch of bath salts and like fucking
Dude, the OG flavor of Four Loko, yeah, the original when they had 4 times the amount of it's called 4 because like that's how many coffee cups of caffeine were in it.
Holy shit. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is not okay.
I know a dude who almost died drinking Four Loko because he was on an empty stomach. He got whatever the fuck, exhaustion, heat exhaustion, and maybe sun poisoning. And then he went to the beach and drank 4 Four Lokos on an empty stomach.
Jesus.
And they had to take him to the ER.
Oh
and
my
so,
God.
like, he turned white and his lips are turning blue, and they're like, yeah, we should probably should probably take this guy to the hospital, right?
Holy shit.
Dude, 4 Four Locos is a lot.
Yeah.
I've never been able to drink like 2 of them.
Yeah.
I thought I was going to be able to drink 2 when I drank. I went to like the first ever. A$AP Rocky is my favorite anything, and will always remain that. Even if I'm like his new stuff, I just like he's my favorite. And when he like was doing one of his first tours, I went and I drank a grape Four Loko and smoked a blunt, and I was so fucked up. But I had a blast. But then I tried to drink the second. I was like, nope, this is not happening.
It's one and done.
By the way, I saw 21 Savage yesterday.
Oh, hell yeah. Where?
Outside of his house.
Oh, just around.
Yeah, so I was driving through one of the canyons.
I don't care for that guy's rap.
No, not at all.
He just counts to 10.
I just want to make friends with him so I can be friends with Post Malone.
I like Post Malone.
That's a good gateway, yeah.
I've heard that guy's Austin. I think he's really cool.
He has a house in Salt Lake, so he just walks around Salt Lake and he takes pictures with people. I saw somebody's mom took a picture with him in Costco, and he's just super sweet.
That's hilarious.
One of my friends tattooed him. And like partied with him and stuff. So like he posted stuff on his story of just he's sitting there getting tattooed, and like they're all shirtless and drinking beer. And, but no, he was coming out of it. It was right off the road too, like just in a normal fucking place in his big house. But like I saw one of those limo Escalades or whatever, and I look up and he's just like a gnarly fucking weird stare, and I saw the knife and I'm like, oh. That's cool.
That's the guy.
Yeah.
Wow. Did you get a picture?
No. I felt like if I stopped my car, he would have been like, oh, he's going to start shooting at me. So
you know he's British, right?
Yeah.
I know.
Which made me think he was a pussy.
He got like deported back to England for a while.
Yep.
And I thought it was hilarious.
He's very down south Atlanta kind of guy. Like with the way he talks, like he says like screet. Like they say like T's with K's on that stuff. I'm a screet. And so that's why it was so weird. But he just fucking flat out lied about being British, which I don't blame him. Being a rapper, you better not be fucking British.
Don't admit to that.
Unless you're British.
You're not hard if you're British.
No, like I have a bit about that where I'm like, you can't like. I'm so glad I'm a comic because I can be like nice, and if you're a rapper, like. And if I find out you were like valedictorian, I'd be like, that dude's a bitch. Fucking majored in women's studies. Pussy. Do you have anything you want to plug?
Well, I've been hosting a mic in Sherman Oaks at the Hamptons 818. And so
very fun mic. I went for
it
the
is
first
fun.
one.
It's been having such a fluky schedule because it's at a restaurant, so it's not at a studio, and it's. You know, it just kind of happens when they prioritize like their restaurant over comedy.
What kind of restaurant is this? Mediterranean? Fusion?
Kind of. I don't know. I think that the owners are like Arabic or I don't know, but it's hookah. It's a bar. It's a restaurant. It's open until like 2:30. So I think I might start pushing it for later.
Yeah, well, because the Comedy Store is that night too, so it's a little bit hard to get people anywhere.
Exactly. The Comedy Store hasn't been allowing people. Like in though, if they like sell out too many tickets, then like the comic section gets so small.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the last few Kill Tonys that I went to, well, I guess it's different if you're just doing potluck, but yeah, they had like a standby list of like 20 comics, and they only allowed those people in, and then they pulled those names from the hat, and that's actually how I ended up getting on.
Oh, that's super weird.
Yeah, it was weird, but anyways,
I haven't gotten in for Kill Tony.
You haven't even seen it?
No.
Oh, it is. I mean, it's mean, but it's pretty amusing.
I like seeing some of the guests. I like seeing Dan Soder on.
Yeah.
And he insulted a comic that I see very frequently, and then the comic shook hands with him, and he's like, "Okay," and it was really fucking funny to see. All right, 818 Mike. What's it?
On Mondays or every other Monday. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
What's your Instagram?
Oh, my Instagram is just Mary Romeo. Simple.
Romeo,
not Romero, not Romeo. Fucking, Romeo. It's really not that hard. People get it wrong like 50% of the time.
That's so weird. You should hear. Travis knows my last name, and because of Joe, he still says Souvall, and it's Souvall. Joe, I just can't correct Joe because he's too nice.
Oh, Joe also, yeah. Sometimes he just says his name however he wants to say it.
Yep.
People say call me Clyburn all the fucking time. I'm like, there's no O. There's no O. There's never been an O. I get Clayborn more than anything. I'm like, why are you adding so many letters to my
I
name?
know.
What's the point?
All right. Well, thank you so much for being on.
Yeah, thank you. This was really fun.
Did you have fun? Was
I
this
had a
good?
great time.
Okay, good. Yeah. Well, yeah. Signing.
That you need a better tag out.
I don't know what to say. I don't never know what to say. Bye.
Bye,
it's
guys.
Just fucking, yeah, keep blacking out. Thank you. Have a good one. Yeah, that's it.